the day after our Prime Minister proudly declared that his government had made it illegal to buy, sell, trade a handgun in Canada, and that was going to be the end of it, a number of people were shot and killed in urban centres in Canada. Dan McTeague was a Liberal member of Parliament for years and years. He joins me right now. And I want to put the question to you. Surely somebody in Ottawa knew that if you prevent law-abiding people from not having guns, that's not going to solve the problem, because the people who are shooting other people are not law-abiding.
No, and it makes no sense that you would actually try to think that there's some kind of a political answer to a question that is dogging all governments. You're not going to stop the proliferation of handguns if you still have an open border, if you simply allow it to go through any reserve. It was a problem in the 1980s. It was a problem in the 1990s when mayors of certain towns along our borders had to wear camouflage jackets because they knew that they could be subject to some kind of an attack. Look, this is not the right answer, and everyone knows that. The problem is it was virtue signaling by the Trudeau government to try to appease a certain constituency. The fact is, people are still going to get killed, and handguns are still going to be used.
Well, they have been being killed because, I mean, as I said, the people who are doing the killing with handguns, they're illegal guns, first of all. Secondly, they get bail automatically, virtually automatically. And you can be having an offense of a handgun and be up on trial, found guilty, and be out the next day. So is it not something that of tightening up the laws? But then I guess this Liberal government doesn't tighten up laws.
Well, even if it did tighten up laws, it'd be subject to the Supreme Court throwing out, as we've seen in so many other cases. Look, this is a very serious misread of a situation, and it's window dressing in its worst form. To give people the idea that somehow your actions are going to bring about some kind of a change, that is to say, an elimination of handguns or a lessening of its use, is simply crazy. And we know that it is impossible to stop something like that. Better we deal with those who are committing the offenses as opposed to the means on which they are committing those offenses.
And it's not just where someone will say, well, it's in the bad areas of town. I mean, in Toronto, the other night at Queen and Spadina, lots of good restaurants, one of the finest restaurants in the world, and a guy was just gunned down in the middle of the street at 1 o'clock, dead.
So, I mean, where does this go? It comes to the point where every time someone's going to get killed with a handgun or with an arm, with a firearm, the Liberals should be seen as hypocrites, and not only that, producing yet again irrelevant legislation.
Let me put this to you. If the Conservative Party comes and says, elect us and we will have tighter bail conditions, we will put people in jail for having illegal guns, will the press and will people in general say, oh, that's a right-wing solution?
Well, maybe, but I think the press will have to then make a decision as to how it's being to be paid, because it can no longer rely on the same government.
And we know that Trudeau paid them $680 million last year.
And then some.
And then some, and more this year. Thanks very much. 3 minutes. So in 1 year during the pandemic, CBC paid themselves $33 million in bonuses above their great salaries. We need a discussion in this country. We need analysis. If you agree with that, please help us on the air. Press PayPal and subscribe.